Why is that important to being a public servant? Well, number one, I have the background in this community. I am a lifelong resident of Corpus Christi. I believe in our city. I see our city decaying. I see a lot of good opportunities just gone haywire.
Going to other cities. Cities hurting for it now.
We're hurting for it. There's revenue.
And their fee, and the way they cover these deficits is through us, the citizens. They tax us higher. Yeah. Impact fees all over the place.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
That's a real, when they could have had those fees covered by the businesses through their tax dollars. They're happy to be here.
That's right.
They pay their fee. It's a write-off for them. It's not a write-off for us.
No.
It comes out of our wages.
That's exactly right.
It comes out of our after-tax dollars.
That's exactly right.
We get taxed again and again.
Yeah.
Welcome back to another episode of Kingdom Heirs, where faith meets business, inspiring the kingdom-minded entrepreneur. I'm your host, James Matalone, and today I've got the great privilege of having with me Alberto Carrillo III, who's running for Corpus Christi City Council District 3. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you so much, James. It's such an honor to be here. Just that invite. And just seeing you a couple of weeks ago
we've been seeing each other all over the place. You're on the campaign trail, so
I'm on the campaign trail.
I'm not running for office, but you are, and I see you at all these different events. I said, let me meet this guy. Let me see what he's up to.
Yeah, and for you to ask a few weeks ago if I'd be interested in doing this, and I said, yeah, of course.
Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do this. Let's get the word out there, and let's share what who I am, who Alberto Carrillo is.
That's important. It is important. You know, I think so many of us that look at the signs, we all know it's election time.
Right.
And I think we all kind of go wince a little bit when we see all the different signs going up. There's 1, and then there's 3, and then there's 5. And then next thing you know, whole city blocks are placard.
Yes.
And we're like, who are these people? Right? Yes. And they're running for city council. They're running for county seats. They're running for judge seats. They're running for sheriff. They're running for all these different mayor, right? Governor, and that's just local. Then you go governor races and state races, right? And there's so much going on. I've always felt like, how do I know who the right guy or gal is?
That's right.
And if I don't fall in their demographic, they may not even reach out to me.
Mm.
So I'm like, how do I really know who these people are?
Yeah.
You know, so part of my heart has always been, I want to find out who people are.
Good.
Before I just hit the button for them. You know, they might be on the Republican ticket, or they might be on the Democrat ticket. I vote Republican, but we don't know who they really are, right? And so obviously you're running for a position that's bipartisan.
That's right.
Right? It's neutral.
Nonpartisan.
Nonpartisan. So why, you know, a little bit of your background before we jump into why you're running, but I know you've spent the past 40 years in the business development side of a global specialty chemical company.
That's correct.
Right? You've got 3 children, and you've been married for a number of years.
13
years. Yeah. So one of the questions that I have for you is, obviously 40 years is a long time in a career, and that's a big, big company.
It's a huge multinational. 23 countries.
Yeah.
So we're everywhere.
That's a big deal. And what type of products typically do you guys sell?
The division that I'm have been a part of from day one is the Chromium Group. The Chromium Group, we basically is the materials that goes, for example, chromium trioxide and hydrous. It goes in the metal finishing industry. Okay. And as I shared with you, my current role title is Senior Business Development Representative for North America and Japan. Japan's a long story. I developed that relationship along with other colleagues in 2002. And there's something about the Japanese people. You develop that relationship and it's for a lifetime. You keep it. So when we made a change in 2015, at that point, I had the entire globe, for the exception of some sections of South America. But when we were resettling our distribution points or covering different territories, I said, oh, thank goodness I get to come back to North America. But chief executive or managing director, he said, but you need to hang on to Japan.
Oh, wow.
And I understood why.
Yeah.
And so the Japanese people have been wonderful to work with. So our product goes into the metal finishing industry, for example, the metal, anything to do with auto body. Mm-hmm. Our product is mixed in and then super high concentration in chrome baths, what we call chrome baths.
Mm-hmm.
And basically what happens is it goes into the steel, and the steel in turn is shaped in and molded and cut and fabricated into making Hondas, Toyotas, Nissans, Mitsubishis, you name it, all the Japanese products.
So it's heavy automotive.
Yeah, it's heavy.
You got into this industry when you were 21.
21 years old.
Well, how in the world did you get there, and how did you stay for 40 years?
Well,
and it wasn't because it was a career, a college path either.
No. How I ended up there was my dad was with the company prior. It was PPG Chemicals prior, and he was there for a number of years, and then they were purchased. They were shutting down the company. Then along came the group that I was a part of for many years, Harrison's and Crossfield Harcross Chemicals, based out of London, and they had a company similar to ours here in Corpus Christi. There's this British Chrome and Chemicals, and so we said, we'll purchase the property in what used to be PPG, and we'll name it American Chrome and Chemicals.
Wow.
And so been there, started, kicked out of college for the second time, said, you got to go get a job. And so I had the opportunity to enter in. My dad put in a good word for me. And so I was sold from day one.
And you worked your way up from...
I worked my way up from...
Mop boy, shop boy,
railroad, putting in railroad tracks and changing out railroad ties to anything you can imagine, working in tanks and cleaning them and all the hard work. And I had the fortunate opportunity to work alongside the greatest men from the greatest generation, World War II vets.
Yeah, they're great
guys.
And
they were amazing men. They caught, along with my dad. My dad was post-Korea, but these guys, of course, with my dad and my granddad, they just instilled in this work ethic that if your target is here, you shoot here.
Yes, that's
right. And you keep on. You're relentless, but you're thinking what I need to do next. So from there, just
forward thinking.
Very much forward thinking. And I was always told, if you want to stay in this business, you have to be essential. Mm-hmm. I didn't know if I was going to make it a month, a year, 5 years, 10 years. It's already been 43 plus years. And so when I leave the organization...
Have you felt like do you think that kept you at a place where, do you think they did that intentionally? Because it's about bringing value. You want people to bring value to your company every day.
Absolutely.
Do you think that they laid that in heavy? That, boy, if you don't bring value, you're out of here. Do you think that gave you that little like pep in your step? I'm going to make myself valuable here.
It really did, and I did have a lot of good mentors as I was moving up in the organization, and these folks really just really brought out the best in me.
Yeah.
And they laid out a course, and it just offered the opportunity for me to go to the next level. Mm-hmm. And so first half of the career is manufacturing, operations, and started off with the grunt work, went operations. And then in 2001, there was a chance opportunity with my chemical background and process management background to go into our commercial side of our business. So they said, okay, we're taking you from manufacturing. We're going to use you as a guinea pig into the commercial side of our business. So I started off as logistics coordinator, meet the shipments from around the world, and just to get to see that our products arrived okay. And then next thing you know, I'm in providing sales support and ever since. And now I'm in the senior role, and I've had the opportunity to do business all around the world, and just it's been an amazing.
Have you traveled?
Adventure.
Have you traveled all across the country, like the world? Like, have you been
to most places? Not all places. It's easier to meet in, say, London, for example,
right?
And let the world come to you, or meet in Mexico City, or meet in somewhere in the States or somewhere. But
that's a good point. That's a good
I've had an opportunity to see and really get to know different cultures.
What was that like? As a young? Because when did you get married? And when you
my first time was I was 27.
Okay, because traveling with a family, what is that like?
It really took a toll on our family, and unfortunately,
because there's a lot of men and women that have to travel for work.
Have to travel for work, and
it's not a great lifestyle.
No, it's not a great lifestyle.
You get to see a lot, but it really, family wise, it's not great.
You're not home, and unfortunately, my walk with the Lord at the time was not anywhere near where it's at today. Mm-hmm. I've always been a believer in Christ Jesus, but it wasn't grounded where it's been, say, the last 5-10 years.
Yeah.
And so unfortunately, the marriage ended amicably. I still love my first wife. She is the mother of my children, and she's been a blessing. She's a wonderful nurturer, and I was a breadwinner, but never home. And so I think that was unfortunate for that. I was able to provide, but I wasn't there as much as I wanted to or needed to be.
It makes sense, and your kids need you.
Yes,
I mean that's the call for most men is but I'm providing.
Yeah.
But I'm providing. Yeah. And my dad taught me to provide, and he provided for his family. My dad traveled his majority of his career. He was gone traveling.
Right.
But I'm providing.
Yeah.
And so there's such a balance to that, right?
There really is.
You can provide, but if you're not present, they don't want your money.
Nah.
Forget about it.
I could care less about the money.
Right.
Yeah.
So we can literally put it in a different, right? Or it's a slippery slope, to try to maintain that. It's so important because within business, we talk about that in business all the time. Guys and gals can go after this huge goal, and usually it's monetary goals, right? I'm gonna hit 5 million, 10 million, 20 million, 100 million. Yeah. But what's that going to cost you?
You lose so much.
Because the goal is so big, and it's focused solely on just accomplishing monetary gain.
That's right.
That you forsake everything else.
Yeah, the important things.
Yeah.
The real important things.
And we tell ourselves once we hit it, we'll have everything we wanted.
Yeah.
But actually, you lost it.
You lost it.
And I think that's such a tragedy in the business world with men and women that have not knowingly traded it.
Yeah.
They traded something.
They really did.
If you say yes to this, you're saying no to something else.
That's right.
And so that's a hard lesson for many, many people. And that's why I appreciate you just sharing what you shared, because there's a lot of guys that'll say, I got no regrets.
No, I have lots of regrets.
And I'm like, oh my goodness, why would you say that?
Yeah.
Regrets means that you have remorse for the fact that you made some wrong decisions along the way.
Some wrong decisions. And I even think to myself sometimes, James, I would have just been fine being, working for a local grocery store or maybe working for you or something, in sales or marketing or whatever, but stay home and be closer to home. I did after the divorce. I did begin to rebalance and reshift, and I really began to really put those priorities in check, and whether it was time with my daughter or my son, and just being there for my daughter's ballet recitals, and just being there for her cheerleading, and being my son's baseball coach for many years. Just
doing that alone, is so rewarding.
Very rewarding. Oh yeah.
Oh my goodness, I got called in. My son and my daughter go to a small school, and they said, hey, they need a coach for their soccer team, third grade soccer. I'm like, I don't know a thing about soccer. I'm a football guy. I said, well, I know a little bit. I know you got to kick the ball, and I get all that. And they're like, well, look, Megan says, you want this opportunity or not? You want to be present or not?
That's right.
I'm like, I want to be present. I do. She goes, well, I know. That's why I brought it up to you. So take it. I'm like, all right, I'm going to be the best possible soccer coach there is, The majority thing I had to do is make sure they tied their cleats the whole time. Tie your cleats. That's right. I had to say, you say that, it's just being present.
Yes.
Just being present. Just show up. Even if you don't know a thing, just show up.
Just be there.
Be that. Let's go. Yeah, come on.
Be there. And not just for your children. You're there for other children that may not have that male role model.
True.
That may not have... I was very fortunate to have a team grandmother for many, 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 many years. Mrs. Akers, if you're listening to this, thank you so much for being our team grandma for maybe a decade or so.
That's awesome.
And so just these things that you build into these young men, these boys at the time, now they're all grown.
Yes.
They're men, they're dads.
And they're raising their own.
They're raising their own, and I still get, I'm referred to as coach.
Yeah.
So
isn't that awesome?
It's amazing. It's like, wow, I was a part of that I still see them as my kids.
Isn't that funny? You bring up a good point. When we moved to Corpus back in 2011, I think by 2012, the girls were like, one of our daughters says they want to play softball. Well, if one girl wants to play softball, they're all close in age. Everybody's playing softball. And so we're like, hey, where should we do? What should we do? So we went down. We were like, well, we got 3 girls. Do we want to go try to get on all one team? That probably may not happen. They'll probably get split up amongst the local teams, the little league. I know what we do. Let's start our own team.
There you go.
So we started our own team, joined the league on the west side of town, and we wound up being the CC Dolphins, and I'm the coach.
Okay.
And I never coached softball. I didn't know a thing about softball. I played a little bit of baseball. I was no good. I used to swing with my eyes closed, right? So we did 8U and then 10U, and we did, I think, 3 different seasons. But it was wonderful. So 10 years later now, I'm still called coach.
There you go.
Not by my girls, but by some of the kids' parents, and when I'd see them out, or the kids.
Yeah, absolutely.
And my goal was just have a good time, enjoy the sport. Let me teach you the fundamentals and the basics.
That's it.
Right? We had a team that had most of the kids had never played before.
Oh my.
They're like, oh, you're the ragtag team. So they threw them all on me. Because the other ones are very competitive.
Yes, we are.
I'm like, whoa, you're way too competitive. Like, the parents are competitive.
Oh, yes.
It's not even the kids. It's the parents who are very competitive.
It's the parents. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's just these, but the joy of being able to say, I did that.
Yes.
You have that joy. A lot of guys, a lot of girls, they don't have that
joy
to be able to say, I carved the time out.
I did, and it's really nice when I finish off my day, and when these days I haven't really had the time to go into my music room, and it's upstairs, and I'm a drummer. I enjoy music and different genres, and in that room I have a trophy case. Anything to do with my daughter, my son, other children. When I coached the Miracle League,
wow, that's cool.
it was an experience of a lifetime, and so just to be able to look at the trophies and the little trinkets, and just read the little notes, and thank you, coach, and it's the biggest reward. There's no money in the world that can match that reward.
So you're there to make a deposit into their life.
A huge deposit.
And meanwhile, you take in much more.
Oh, gosh.
Right?
I've been blessed 10, 15, 20-fold.
Just by relationships.
Absolutely.
And those deposits into their life of showing love, encouragement,
yes.
dependability,
yes.
discipline,
yes.
structure.
That's right.
We win together as a team. We lose together as a team. And we lose graciously. We would have a rule in our house that everybody play your best, and you congratulate the rest.
That's right.
If you win or lose, you congratulate them.
That's it.
Hey, well done, great job.
Yeah.
You played well.
That's right.
I think that's so important. Thinking about you and your career, and you're still young.
I'm 65.
You started early.
Started very early.
You started early. 43 years. You still have a lot of life left in you.
Yes.
And you have a lot of life experience.
Yes.
Kind of in you, and you're like, and I see you as a guy that has this experience, but you still need an outlet.
Yes.
And so what brings you to? This is the first time you're running for a public office.
Yes.
Right. Why city council?
Right.
Why? What do you see as that you can bring value? What value can you bring to our growing city?
Yes.
Maybe share a little bit about where we're at as a city, and where you think we're headed that you don't like, why you want to jump in.
Absolutely. That seed was actually planted. Maybe that's actually been planted since I was in high school. I actually participated. I worked with candidates, and just got to see the workings of how campaigns work, and just different things. And I said, one day I want to come back to this. Maybe not.
Put it on the shelf?
I put it on the shelf. I put it on the shelf for 40-something years.
Yeah.
And then about 5 years ago, I heard a message by Franklin Graham. And Franklin brought a message that men and women, godly men and women, need to step up. Whether it's at the local level, whether it's in your schoolhouses, whether it's in your city councils, whether it's, you name it. Every Christian has a calling. It's not all into public service. We're all public servants.
But we are all
servants.
called to serve.
To serve. So how did this come about? The opportunity came about thanks to Sean Flanagan, if you're listening to this, and Robin Cox and a few other folks. And so they said, hey, we think that you might be a good fit. So I went through the whole interview process, and it was so they said, okay, we're going to go with you. And they asked, what do you need from us? This is a group of nonpartisans guys. And I said, I need to be mentored by pastors. I need to be mentored by pastors. And lo and behold, I didn't know there was a pastor, Greg Hood, sitting next to me. And Greg has been he's been a confidant. He's been my mentor. He, along with Pastor Rick Milby, they're my go-to guys. I seek the wisdom of older men.
Yeah.
And as a result, I do that for younger men.
Yes.
So how and why am I doing this? First time running for office. It's not an easy thing to do.
No, it's not.
It's a lot of work.
You're putting yourself out there.
You put yourself out there. You put your life on pause. In all truth, your life pretty much comes to a halt as far as you get up, you go to work, change into your canvassing clothes, you get out there or go to events or whatever. So
how many doors have you knocked on personally? How many doors have you knocked on?
3,000, as of yesterday, 3,008 doors. Yeah, since end of May, early June.
And they ask you, what are you selling?
I'm sorry?
And they ask you, what are you selling?
Who are you? Who are you?
What are you doing here?
What are you doing here? Why are you doing this? You hear it all. You hear it all. And basically what I do is, one of the things that I do is, I want to personalize each store that I approach, whether I get to speak with them or not. I actually sign every card that...
You can see that on the camera? You see how he's written a message here?
I personalize it because I feel it necessary that the individuals that I approach, whether I get to visit with them or not, when they see this card, they say, okay, yeah, there's this guy. Okay, yep, okay, this is who he is. But he signed his name. He says, thank you, Alberto.
That's
wow,
personal.
He didn't have to do that.
That is personal.
But it means I would mean so much to me, or just to see anything from, wow, this is the first time I've seen a candidate at my front door.
This is my point.
In years.
I don't see them at my doors.
And so...
I'm in a voting district. I don't see them in there.
And why is that important? I share with whether they're running for local office or whatever office, if you want the voters to get in tune with you, who you are, what you're about, why you're doing what you're doing, it's so important for you to engage face-to-face with these individuals to say, hi, I'm here, and I'm here to serve.
Yeah.
And you hear it all. Anything from streets to stray dogs to, oh, we have an outrageous budget. You hear it all. And are you a Republican or Democrat? And yeah, you hear it all.
Of course you do.
And I'm a servant. I am a servant but I will say by party affiliation, I am conservative. I am a Republican. I vote Republican. But
well, people want to know that.
They need to know that.
They need to know
that I am I'm fiscally responsible. So how does that take? What does that mean for someone like myself, coming from the business world, coming from all these years of experience, seeing practices, business tools and practices that have worked? Well, number one,
especially on a global level.
On a global level,
that's a big deal.
It's huge. You're competing. Our competitors are in Russia, China, Latin America, South America. We have competition coming at us from every which way.
Yes, we do. Yeah.
How do we leverage as a business and become competitive in the global market arena?
Yeah.
So my opponents my opposing businesses or competing businesses are not your guys down the street or down the other part of the city. They're in different parts of the globe.
Yeah.
And so
and Corpus Christi, in many respects, deals internationally.
We do.
We have our port.
International hub.
We are.
Yep. Oil, petroleum is a huge. Corpus Christi is known around the world for a shipping hub, import hub for petroleum products and other products. We have an opportunity here in Corpus Christi that we really haven't captured, in my opinion.
Correct.
And so that, in my background is in industry, so I understand imports, exports, I understand global trade, all these things. And, what does that mean for someone in city council? Well, what it means is that every year I'm responsible to shareholders. I have to bring a return on investment on what they put in. You and I, James, are shareholders.
Yes, we are.
Your daughters, our family members, we're all shareholders.
Citizens. We're shareholders of the
That's
city.
Right.
Yeah. We pay our taxes here.
That's right.
We contribute to the city.
So what is my role? What is my job? I see our city council, the council as, think of Maslow's hierarchy of needs theory. You have all your base needs. You need sound infrastructure. You need to live in a safe community, access to safe and good drinking water, controlled costs.
Yep.
And
first responders.
First responders, you name it.
Good police, we have good fire, EMTs, everything. All of that is critical.
Everything.
Good hospitals.
That's right.
medical,
a growing economy,
yes,
a growing economic opportunities, development opportunities.
That regenerates income here.
Absolutely.
And we don't, yeah.
Absolutely. And so what I see coming from the outside, looking in, is that I have to say this. I don't believe we have enough, number one, godly men and women serving in offices, whether it's the local level, whether it's at the government, in Washington. That's the biggest part of who I am as an individual. First and foremost, I'm here to serve Jesus Christ. He is my Lord and Savior. He is my rock. He is my foundation. So what does that mean?
Do you think, can I ask you a question? Do you think that clouds your vision of civil service?
No. It clarifies it. It clarifies it.
I mean, are you sure? Because wouldn't you kind of then just bring a Bible in there and say, hey guys, this is how we need to do things versus the way you have this other system? Like, what is, you know there's opposition to that.
Oh gosh.
To that thought process.
Absolutely.
Separation, church and state.
It doesn't exist.
It is. It's all nonsense. We know it's nonsense, but people still have in their mind.
They do.
They need to have a civil servant perspective and then keep your religion over there. People want to compartmentalize themselves.
They do.
So for you to say that you have your faith system,
yes,
what does that look? What does that translate into a daily, from a city management perspective of management?
Absolutely.
What does that look like? Do you think?
What that brings is clarity. It brings vision. It brings a moral compass. It brings in everything that we're taught in this book, everything that we're taught in life, that you do things to serve others, but you want to be a good steward. You want to be an effective steward. Mm-hmm. You want to be given of your time, of your caring and commitment to them. You have to prove yourself. Yeah. And this is why, as I shared with you at the end of this year, and I've shared this with the community, I stepped down from my role of almost 44 years. Why? Because I think it's important to, is it full-time? I don't think it is, but I want to avail myself to the community. And I think it's very important because
So you're not doing it for money?
No.
It's not
going from six figures to one figure. It's not that. Right. It's not that at all.
Yeah, I mean you've created a nice lifestyle for your family.
We have.
You've done very, very well. You were diligent.
Yes.
You saved. You put yourself in a good place.
Absolutely.
And so what I hear you say is, I'm full there. Yeah. I filled my tank.
I did.
I have something to give.
As of yesterday, we learned that. My wife and I were happy dancers when we left Andrew Flotus's Equitable Wealth Management Group. And Andrew, if you're listening out there, you're going to be hearing this. I'm going to beg. Yeah, he says, yeah, man, you knew you were good.
Yeah.
And he says, go serve Corpus Christi. And if it's not Corpus Christi, go serve your community.
Yeah. That's it.
So I did a happy dance. I got on the floor, and I think I even there's pictures of me, and I'm in front of a building where his business is at. And so, because of my wife and I, diligence.
And isn't that what we're talking about that we want to see at the city level is diligence?
Diligence.
It's that stewardship mentality.
That's it. On this card, it took a lot of time for us to come up with our campaign manager, by the way, Luke and Maddie Schroeder, wonderful, wonderful people, wonderful, godly people. Integrity, transparency, experience. Why is that important to being a public servant? Well, number one, I have the background in this community. I am a lifelong resident of Corpus Christi. I believe in our city. I see our city decaying. I see a lot of good opportunities just gone haywire.
Going to other cities.
That
we could have picked up.
Oh my gosh.
Good income generators.
Great opportunities. Our business that I'm with now, we moved our facility, much of our facility, we moved it from Corpus Christi to Wilmington, North Carolina. It's a former Oxy plant. I was part of that leveraged buyout team from the buyout Oxy. We gave up Corpus Christi and Nueces County the opportunity back in 2000 or whenever it was.
They didn't want it.
They said, okay, we're packing most of our bags.
And our city's hurting for it now.
We're hurting for it. There's revenue.
And their fee and the way they cover these deficits is through us, the citizens. They tax us higher. Yeah. Impact fees all over the place.
Oh gosh, yes.
And that's a real when they could have had those fees covered by the businesses through their tax dollars. They're happy to be here.
That's right.
They pay their fee. It's a write-off for them. It's not a write-off for us.
No.
It comes out of our wages.
That's exactly right.
It comes out of our after-tax dollars.
That's exactly
we get taxed
right.
again and again.
And looking
That's
at
a major.
it is
it's a major stain on a city.
It's one of the things that I've learned and I've done.
And I love Corpus Christi. Please hear that. I love
I
this
do
town.
too. I love that. That's why I'm here to see a budget. Let me just be honest with you. I gave a good comparison last year before I announced my candidacy. The business that I'm with versus the city's business.
Mm-hmm.
The city wouldn't. If we managed our business the way the city does, we would have gone. We would have lost out to our competitor a long time. We would have been buried. I would have been long gone. But what we do is lean management, streamline, shared services, shared responsibilities, not overlapping, but you have different hats to wear. I hate to say this, but our city body is bloated.
Yeah.
Our city budget is hyper bloated. Mm-hmm. A city of our size should be nowhere near $1.8 billion budget. Nowhere near. You put business people in there that really, really care, businessmen and women, that budget should be barely, if $1 billion.
Right.
How do you do this? You go back and you streamline the operations. Do I believe we should have so many city managers? No, absolutely not.
Do we have three managers, assistant? There's three managers?
There's
the head and then there's the two assistants?
Yeah, you have your city managers and you have several actually. I think you have 4 or 5, and then there's directors under them, and there's managers under them. It is an organization. I see their chart. It's like, it doesn't work.
You have that many decision makers.
You have
down
too
the
many
line.
decision makers. I get to make a decision. I have to just go one step up to the boss.
Now that you save a ton of time, you save a ton of waste.
And a ton of money.
Very efficient.
Efficient operations. Mm-hmm. Whether you're producing a product or whether you're out trying to compete in the global marketplace, because if our costs are here and my competitors are here, there's no way in the world I'm going to be able to compete.
I don't think most people look at a city as having competition.
Oh, we are.
But do we really?
Yes.
And surely a city's not a business, but in some forms it operates like a business.
It does.
Right? So can you break that down a little bit for us?
We are in competition with the Valley. We see where McAllen, Brownsville, their medical facilities are thriving. Mm-hmm. Their economy is booming. Their port is booming.
This is the Valley.
This is the Valley.
You mean right next to Mexico?
Right next to Mexico.
Isn't Mexico like not a thriving country, but
not so much? But there's good partnerships, and there's some smart business people in the Valley area.
Well, and
very smart business.
There's
people
a lot of the
on the other side.
A lot, yeah. And so I was thinking, I was shocked to realize that how well the Valley does. The Valley is the border. The Texas border borders Mexico, where there's so much issues of people coming and going, people coming in.
Right.
But their communities are thriving with opportunity.
Absolutely. Smart.
And that's only 2 hours from here.
It's only 2 hours from here.
Why don't we have any of that?
Because of leadership. Lack of good leadership.
We have big companies that want to come in,
right,
but then stay on the county. Yeah. County loves it. The city doesn't get anything from it. But we had Tesla come in on the fringe of our city, but they didn't come into our city. They stayed out in the county.
Right.
We have Oxy that wants to come in, but they went to Clayburgh County. They didn't do Nueces County.
That's right.
There's a number of things that are not coming in.
That's right.
And I think our city right now is just, well, if we can get a Costco, we're doing good. Like, really? You mean CCP? We want more of China companies inside of our own nation. Right. That's what we want, is CCP, Costco. People love Costco.
Absolutely.
But you know what? That's not supporting American interests.
Exactly
it really
right.
doesn't. It continues to support the CCP.
That's exactly
right. And so,
right.
As a city, are we excited we just need to bring in a Costco? Because it means that we've hit another tier of success. Yeah. I don't see that as being a tier of success. When you have good American companies that want to do business here.
They want to bring in.
Manufacturing companies want to come here because of the port, the rail, and straight trucking.
The company that I'm with, James, was one of the first companies.
Sorry, that was a tangent.
No. The company I'm with was developed back in the early 30s. I have the original newspaper clipping in my office where our site was looked at to bring industry. It was Columbia Southern. I still have August 23rd, 1933. Why do I remember August 23rd? That's my birthday. The year 1933, that was the year. and we were the first industry. We did generated our own water.
Yeah,
kind of a desal process,
which is
seawater pump house,
which is still on there. They everybody's agreed that they want to do it. They just don't know where to do it, and
that's right.
And who's going to pay for it, and
how it's going.
And we've been talking about that for 5 years.
10, about 10, yeah, longer.
Wow.
Yeah.
Why can't we just pull the trigger and get it done so we have our own water so we can grow? Our city needs to grow.
My personal opinion is that we really don't extend ourselves to see all the other opportunities that are there, whether it's the Nueces River Authority, whether it's the Port of Corpus Christi, whether it's other bodies. Because I'll tell you what, if we do not go, in my opinion, we don't go after the NRI, Nueces River Authority, San Antonio's
going to scoop it.
They're going to scoop it up.
They need a lot of water.
They need water. We have it here. My personal preference is the Outer Harbor. Why? Inner Harbor, I'm not a fan of.
Yeah.
I can go into this.
In other words, we can put the desal
outside,
yep,
where you have lots of water coming in and out of the facility,
and more places to dump the sediment.
Absolutely. Well, you know,
the salt. You got to disperse the salt out into the sea.
The jet diffusion process that I've seen in operation, it works to the point where it's brought in. The brine is brought back in, filtered through membranes, and then through jet diffusion process, you're able to disperse the bits of brine at a level, at a pH
to like sand.
That's right, and it's good actually for marine life. It's good for fish, and it's good for the plants on the ground level.
Yes.
Instead of the Inner Harbor, where you're going to have to take that brine, then you're going to have to find a discharge location and ship it off. That's the cost incurred. So it's the way I see it is, you pay me now, or you're going to pay it later, over and over and over and over. Yeah. We would be looking at doing 3 or 4 inner harbors, or thereby, where we can be doing an outer harbor, and boom, 50 MGDs all the way up to 100 MGDs a day, with a very, very sound process operation.
So we're talking about making pure drinking water out of seawater.
That's right.
And we've got the ability to do it, and we need a lot of water.
We need water, and I've seen it done.
Yeah.
I had the experience with a seawater pump house when I came on board in 1981. Wow, we're making water here. And what do we do with the brine? We marketed it. We piped it off into a place over in Duval County. It's called the brine field, and pure brine is used for different products, different markets.
Yes.
For anything from ibuprofen to different detergents,
and on
and on. And these are guys back in the 1930s that came up with these. This is way before city water was available in the port area.
Yes.
Miles
it's amazing.
away. So it's been but there's some things that I don't think we're doing right, to be quite honest with you. And this is where myself and others, to be fair.
Yeah, I think, quite frankly,
we have a good team.
How many of city council right now seats are up? Are they all up for re-election right now?
Yes, they're all up.
This is a major deal.
This is a major, major deal.
Yeah.
Last night I had the wonderful, wonderful opportunity to attend an event over on the island, the Coastal Bend Republican Coalition. I know this may not be happy music to the Democratic Party or whatever, but I was endorsed by the CBRC, and I was there along with 5 other candidates. Not all the candidates could make it.
Was this the Ted Cruz event?
No, this is not. That was another one.
Because he was also just in town.
He was just in town. This is a different one.
Okay.
Susie Guggenheim, she's the head of this CBRC group, and we had a good team last night. We had a really, really good team of people there. That I said, to myself, I said, I'm the first guy. Many had been in office before. One is an incumbent running for mayor, or not an incumbent, but he's running for mayor now.
He's on council.
He's on council, at-large member. And I said, I'm here with thick cotton here. These guys know their stuff. Carolyn Vaughn. You have Larry Lazondo there last night. You had
he's good.
Mark Scott.
It was good talking with him.
Yeah. So I said, and I'm learning a lot from these guys. But I'm doing a lot of homework, doing a lot of research. You have to do your homework to understand what's at stake for our city, what decisions and where we drive and what direction we take our city into. And my job is to reduce your taxes. My job is to improve efficiencies. And really, we're the board of directors. We're the guys that the city manager reports to. We do not report to the city manager.
Well, yeah, you guys are the ones that negotiate his contract and
absolutely
employ or unemploy.
That's exactly right.
And recruit someone new.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
And
in my opinion, I don't think, and nothing against anybody, the person that holds that seat. In my opinion, I think that's so much authority for one person.
Too much.
That runs the city.
Too much.
It's like county judge.
Yeah.
We didn't realize that the county judge had so much authority until COVID.
Yeah.
When the county judges are the ones that shut down our communities.
Yes, they did. And
no right to assemble.
Nope. No right to a lot of things.
And so I'm like, wait a minute, that's our county judge. And that's a big pick.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that until the one we had. And I'm like, wow, we have someone who is like not for our rights right now for the sake of the recommendation of Fauci.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Who now has said, oh, yeah, everything. I just kind of shot from the hip, made it up, and that's what we went with. Wow. People bowed down to him.
Yeah.
And
we shouldn't have.
And who shouldn't have, which we all knew. We knew we shouldn't have. We're like, what in the world are we doing? We know that. What's this guy talking about?
That's right.
Right? Germs. We're talking about cooties right now.
Yeah, we're talking about cooties. Why
and they were real. Some people were actually really, truly affected.
They were truly affected.
And I'm not going to minimize that.
Nope.
But to lose our rights as citizens, we're not subjects.
That's exactly right.
We are citizens. We are not subjects. Nope. We are not subject to the government.
No.
We put the government in place to help manage the society.
Government is a servant of the community. We were not given that opportunity, getting back to Fauci and during the COVID period, for medicines as ivermectin, hydroxychloroquine.
Yeah.
Some of these effective medicines.
That's fake stuff. You're talking about all fake stuff right now.
Yeah, it's like horse stuff or whatever.
No, you mean the actual product that's not for horses.
Oh, yeah,
for
yeah.
humans.
Yeah.
But no, I'm saying like
yes.
We couldn't even have a conversation about stuff that was outside of the government-controlled media.
That's exactly right.
And so people at this point in time, I'm one of them, we question everything now, as we should.
We should. Absolutely.
We should question everything from the local government all the way up, which means if people really have this who are these people and what do they really represent? Right. Well, you need to know who they are. You need to reach out and find out who they are. You're a very accessible person. Like I said, I've seen you around probably 5 or 6 times in the past month and a half, 2 months, which means you're out there, which is good. There's a lot of candidates that are not out there.
No.
They're just running on name alone. Hey, I was in, I'll be in again.
Yeah.
I got a certain base, they'll vote me in. That's not true coming around.
Yeah.
Because both sides of the aisle are all stirred up right now.
It is this for such a time as this.
This is such a time as this.
Our country, starting at the national level, which is really the global level.
Yes, it is.
All the way down to our school boards. We are we're at a pivoting point. We can do or die.
Yep, that's right.
We're at a point where we can
hold it together,
or lose it. Lose it. Whether it's in school boards, whether it's city council, and the county level, what have you, all the way up to Texas, to the legislature, all the way up to Washington. This is where you bring in folks with the right decisions, with the right frame of mind, looking to be servants of the people, of we the people. Mm-hmm. It's we the people. We have that right to ask questions.
From a city level too, not just from a national level. This is where we can't break our mindset. We the people. That's national. That's federal. Wait a minute, guys.
No, we the people.
It's we. It's us. It's that's here exactly at the school level.
That's exactly
our
right.
County level.
That's
our city level.
That's
our
exactly
town level. It's right there all the way up.
Yeah. Yep.
Why should we have other people outside of our community come in here and tell us how we should live?
I was asked sometime back, would you be interested in running for the Texas Senate or state representative or something? I thought, no. I need to take care of my own yard, my own front yard and backyard.
That's good.
And that's District 3. I could have probably easily. I'm qualified.
Yeah, you could.
Either way,
a great experience.
Either way, I could bring something to the legislature. But I said, no, I need to take care of home.
This is a little more gritty.
Sure.
Because it is home.
It is home.
It's your streets you drive on.
That's exactly right.
It's the people that your neighbors. It's literally us.
It's home.
It is.
It's my mom's neighborhood. It's in the folks that I grew up with over on the west side of Corpus Christi. That I didn't know we were poor, but we had food
we didn't
on the
know
table.
We were poor growing up either. We knew we were eating.
Survived. We survived, and we came out better for that. But this is my home. Corpus Christi is my home. I'm going back tomorrow. My brother and I will be canvassing tomorrow in our neighborhood where we grew up.
Oh, that's fun.
It's going to be nice to see old friends again and just to get out there and mix it up and And, just say, hey, ¿cómo estás? ¿Dónde andas todo este tiempo? Where have you been all this time?
Yes.
And, man, why are you doing this? I said, because I care. It boils down to I care.
How can people help you? What can they do to help you other than vote for you? What line item are you on the? Do you know what line item you are?
As far as where am I on the
when we
ballot?
vote? What?
Oh yeah, I'm number 2 on the ballot.
Number 2.
But I have the longest name on there. It's Alberto Carrillo III.
Okay, so that's good.
Yeah.
So you can, because sometimes people blank when they get in there. They're like, who am I? So okay, vote number 2 for District 3. Okay, good. How else can people help you?
Yeah, on our website, anyone can go on to www.carrillo, CarrilloDist.com. Or you can call me. Let me give you my cell phone number. You get a hold of me. 361-331-9625. If you want to get a hold of me by email instead, or you want to send me a text on that number, or you can
say your number again. We're going to put it on the screen so people have it. Say it again.
The number is 361-331-9625.
I think your phone's calling now.
Go for it.
Come on, baby.
Come on, bring it. And I'll tell you what, it came up last night. When does the work begin? It's already begun.
Of course it has.
It already begun.
It's mobilizing people, just getting them excited for their community.
Getting out there. Working with folks here in London Town subdivision. Yeah. Working with folks over in the country club and the Molina area, in my neighborhood, Shannon neighborhood. The work has already begun.
Yeah.
The work has already begun. Why wait? Oh, I've got to get elected first.
No. You do it now.
You do it now. You see that problem now. You see something that needs to get corrected. Now is the time. No better time than the present to get the ball rolling.
Yeah.
Get to know the folks, to let them know that I am serious and that about their livelihood, about their neighborhoods, about their water resources and all of the above, to get involved.
Because you could be fined right now for using extra water in our city right now, because we are so tapped on water.
Yeah.
You can get, is it a misdemeanor that they just talked about?
$500 fine or something like that.
$500 fine for using unnecessary water on your lawn or whatever.
That's crazy.
Seriously. That's the point we're at, that the city mismanaged their opportunities. That now, again, the citizens are paying for it.
That's exactly right.
Because of mismanagement of the city.
Yeah.
And that's acceptable somehow?
No, it's not acceptable. It is not acceptable. And this is where folks like myself will come in. I was asked last night, are you going to have any problem saying no or being firm on issues? I said, listen, the first half of my career, my nickname was the Iceman, meaning that I meant business in a respectful and a very caring way with our guys. We respected each other. To respect is to be respected. And when folks know you mean business, you mean business. You do it with kindness. Never, ever call out somebody in public. Never want to do that. But when you have to make those tough decisions, say, no, we hold the line here, guys.
Yeah.
And you don't kowtow. You don't take into special interest groups. Well, if you do this, we'll give you this if you do this. Or no, I don't. Keep your money.
And you're beholden to them all
That's
the time.
Exactly right.
They are the puppet. They're the puppeteer.
I've never been a puppet. Not now, not ever going to be beholden to anyone.
It's good to be free.
You have to.
It's good to be free.
Yeah, I like going to bed at night and say, Lord, thank you so much for this opportunity. I'm tired. My feet hurt. My voice is going out. I've got to get up at 5:30 in the morning, probably go to bed about 10, 11, 12.
Yeah.
But that's okay.
Come on.
That's okay. Yeah. That's all right. That's
a good fight. Fight the good fight.
Fight the good fight. Paul talks about it. Yeah. We hear about it. Timothy. And
this is it.
This is it.
This is it.
This is it.
It's a service.
It's a service.
Serving one another.
A humble heart. A humble and a loving heart. Just giving to others. And seeing. There's going to be people that I've seen people on the campaign trail that don't necessarily agree with my way of seeing things. That's okay.
Yeah, it's all right.
That's all right. But
we don't all need to be surrounded by people. No, yeah. No, it's okay if we have different opinions.
I encourage others. I encourage folks currently that are serving in the city council. When was the last time you reached out to so-and-so and just say, hey, let's have some coffee. Let's talk about some things that maybe we're not seeing eye to eye on, or maybe we're kind of getting out of hand, behind the dais. It looks like we're kind of unprepared or whatever. It's necessary to reach out and to care on the other guy and to listen to them.
Especially people we don't agree with.
That's exactly right.
Otherwise, we'll always polarize one another.
Absolutely. I'd rather spend time with someone that doesn't agree with me and say, hey, so-and-so. Let's talk. I'll bet anything that we can come
Common ground.
to a common ground.
Yeah.
I said that some years ago, actually, to the current Democratic Party chair and to the then party chair. I said, why don't you guys work with each other? You're going to find out that you probably are going to have much more in common than you realize.
Yeah, that's true.
Nueces County isn't split down the middle. No, we're neighbors.
That's it.
We're neighbors. We're
Well
all
said.
in this together.
Well said.
United we stand, divided we fall. And boy,
so
do we
true.
fall. And no, you this, a victim of this, a victim of that. Get over it.
Come on.
I think that was an Eagles song. Yeah, I think it was Don Henley sang that. Get over it.
Yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah,
That's
so,
hilarious.
but yeah, no, we do. We are to care and love to one another. Whether it's easy to love those that love us.
It's more challenging to love those that are disagreeable with us.
That's exactly
or don't
right.
like us.
That's
Yeah.
exactly right.
And that's where the fun kind of starts.
Yeah, it
because
does.
it's called extending grace to one another.
That's it.
Yeah, isn't that
That's
awesome?
it. Jesus did it for us.
Yeah.
He didn't come to be born on this earth to be for the people that were already well.
Yeah.
He came to
for
this
the
world
sick.
to care for the sick, for
That's
the
right.
needy, the poor, the hungry.
That's right.
And that's what we do. That's what we should do.
I love that.
We should do. Government is not the answer to everything, by the way.
No, government definitely is not.
No, we are the answer to one another.
That's
We are to serve one another. We are to give up ourselves, of our time, our resources.
And the government's not to serve us either.
No.
We put them there to solve problems.
Get the job done.
Yeah.
If you don't get the job done,
Then we get them out.
you're out.
Yeah. Get somebody else in there that
One
will
strike.
represent us.
Whether you don't get 3 strikes in public service, you get 1 strike in my eye. And if you
That's
serve, if you're Democrat, Republican, Independent, Libertarian, as long as you do the job, you're good.
Yeah, that's
if you
well-
don't
that's
do
well
the
said.
job,
You're out. Well said.
afuera. Yeah.
Well, I want to thank you for being here today. This was a lot of fun. I think that you've made it very clear where you stand, which is really good, because that's what you really want with people that are running for a public office, is you want to know where people stand.
Yeah.
And so thank you for sharing yourself with us today. We're going to include your socials on as well, and how people can reach you. Make sure you have your phone ready to answer those calls.
Yeah.
But guys, if you appreciated hearing why Alberto has jumped in this race, think about it for yourself as well. I know it's late in the game this time, but consider that. Consider the candidate for your district, for your city, for your government race. All of this, every election that's up, consider them. Find out as much as you can from them so that you don't vote based on party line per se. Vote party, vote principle, I think is what's really important.
That's right.
Vote principle, but
That's right.
but get to know who's really running for candidacy, and then ask them those hard questions. Let them squirm in front of you a little bit. It's kind of fun, but really, you're showing them what's most important. So thank you for sitting in that hot seat today.
Yeah, it was fun.
Hey guys, we love you very much. God bless you, and if you would, like, subscribe, and ring the bell. We'll see you next time.